Everyone remembers their first rhythm game. Whether it was mimicking the smooth flow of Parappa the Rapper,
Crack, crack, crack the egg into the bowl.
Crack, crack, crack the egg into the bowl.
stepping alongside their favorite Dance Dance Revolution song, or even smacking a pair of bongos in Donkey Konga, we all share those fond memories of nailing that perfect string of notes. And with the crowd behind us cheering us on, whether it was virtual or real life, those games gave us all a sense of accomplishment. The genre enjoyed a moderate amount of success, thanks in part to Konami's line of arcade games, but it wasn't until 2005, when Guitar Hero came along, that rhythm games really struck a chord with gamers and began receiving worldwide attention. Yes, by the way, that pun was intended. And while the big franchises like Guitar Hero and Rock Band enjoyed the better half of a decade as the best-selling games in the world, rhythm games started falling victim to a similar problem. With the introduction of the guitar-shaped controllers, it started becoming a race to see who could emulate the Rockstar experience the best. It started with guitars, slowly expanded into full bands, then DJ turntables, and before you knew it, we were up to our armpits in plastic instruments. Sure, this might not sound too bad, and might even be considered beneficial that the genre was expanding beyond its mostly Japanese player base, but the saturation of rhythm games brought about a sense of obsolescence, with controllers piling up in people's closets as each new iteration of a series brought with it an updated peripheral. I mean, admit it, there's a dusty plastic controller somewhere in your house that's just begging to be played with. By 2010, almost 5 years at the top of the gaming world, rhythm games finally started to falter. Sales plummeted, and they went from being the hottest games on the planet to just another expensive, peripheral-filled, gimmicky genre. The studios attempted to win back fans by honing in on certain demographics of music lovers, but it was still the same base game, and they weren't offering as many unique experiences anymore. It almost started to feel like developers were losing sight of what made rhythm games great in the first place. But all of that might be changing. It's now 2016, and the state of VR gaming in particular has led developers to try and provide more immersive experiences to the public. And two of the releases for the PlayStation VR just so happen to be rhythm games. There's Thumper, a game where you play a space beetle speeding down a track, hitting jumps and curves to the beat. And then there's REZ Infinite, a remake of the original 2001 psychedelic shooter, but which also includes a brand new area designed specifically for VR. Now, gameplay-wise, these two couldn't play more differently. Thumper is a pulse-pounding rhythm violence game, as they call it, requiring lightning-quick reactions to succeed, while REZ Infinite is more of a relaxing experience, letting you create your own beats and allowing the music to just wash over you. But if there's one thing that they do share, aside from the trippy space-like settings, it's their ability to entrance the player in the music and the visuals. Even though they can both be played on a normal television, they are two games whose existence is amplified by the use of virtual reality. With a VR headset on and with sensory immersion in full effect, you are immediately pulled into the game's world, bobbing your head to the beat, moving your body in tune with the music. They may be the only game so far where I felt the VR technology to be the engrossing experience it's promised to be. Yes, the prospect of VR being the new guiding light for rhythm games might be hard to stomach, considering the platform is still at this point in its infancy, but it's also exciting to dream about all the new games that we can immerse ourselves in and all the new ways that we can achieve that same feeling that we had when we first picked up a Guitar Hero controller. And this is why I feel like VR could be the thing to resurrect the rhythm game genre. On their own, rhythm games can be tense, sweat-filled affairs, but the pairing of VR simply adds to that visceral, satisfying high that we all crave while playing these games. The critical success of both REZ Infinite and Thumper prove that it can be done well, but more importantly, they've proven that you don't need to be playing an instrument or even getting down on the dance floor to be absorbed by the music. What they've done is essentially widen the playing field with what's possible in VR and rhythm games. And honestly, I can't wait to see what the future holds for both. What do you think about a marriage between rhythm games and VR? Which series would you like to see most on the platform? I'm personally holding out for a new Parappa, but let me know in the comments what you think, and thanks for watching.